Okay, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I like your name popped up and I'm like, why am I not talking to her? You're like the ultimate in high school. And I'm like,
Oh, I
I
don't
didn't
know what you'll think
realize
after this session, but we'll see.
how have you been? I haven't talked to you in like 20 years.
Oh, I know. Oh my goodness, I've been well, just grinding away in college coaching life. I've been at Navy 17 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and then I did another 2.5 years at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, where I played in college. So I graduated college there, and then as soon as I graduated, there was an assistant coaching job available, and the head coach, he's like, "Hey, what interested in?" And I psychology. So I'm originally going to go back to New York, get the master's and all that because you can't much with undergrad.
Hmm.
And then he's like, "I think that you would be really good for it. At least consider it." And talked to my parents, and that was that. And yeah, about later, still in the coaching game.
Amazing. I can't imagine. I can't believe you're like saying like years here I am.
Oh, I know. I do remember our St. Francis prep days, though. Those were a lot of fun.
Yes, yes, they were fun. And I thought we had like a really good team, especially when you joined.
It takes everybody to honestly like we had really good people
Mhm.
and players as well, and it just I don't know, we got along so well. It was so much fun. Like I still look at my like scrapbooks and I mean, those are the best days, and I've been able to go back a couple of times. And yeah, it's Sal Bichetti, he's director.
Yes.
We just reminisce, and it seems like yesterday, but my body's telling me it's not.
Yeah. Until like a couple after.
Yeah, yeah. But how's with you?
Good, good. I also teaching, but not the Navy.
Hey, teaching any doesn't matter where it is. You know what I mean? You're out there, so try to make
Yeah,
people better.
most of my kid, like half of them are high school students, and half of them are like little ones,
Yeah,
girls, and they're
yeah,
cute. You get them at like a clean, which is nice because they
one
don't
thousand
have
percent.
habits.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's one that you're recruiting players.
Mhm.
It's everything, and they start young, and if you keep doing the same habits, whether they're good or bad, they're going to stay with you, and they're hard to
Exactly.
break if they're
Yeah.
like that technique is. I mean, so we did, but
Yeah.
you all in what you do. So we appreciate you getting out there and doing your thing because it takes a lot of work, but it's really cool like to get where you are and seeing them like continue to do something else as well.
What do you look for in a recruit?
Definitely how act on court. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's a big one. You can be the best player, but if you are acting foolish on the court, that's a no right there. Definitely want to see how they compete, how they handle pressure. If they're, how do they react? If things are not going their way, how do they react?
Mhm.
And just what kind of player are they? An all-around player? Are they a baseline player? Are they comfortable at net? How do
Mhm.
they compete? And then we don't just wins and losses. A lot of stuff is now based on like WTN number, the world tennis number. But that's all
Like that's
really,
a score, like a
yeah,
certain number,
it's
right?
really going to dictate, honestly, how well somebody is really going to compete and do well in college. But if you have like hard and you want to do better and better, and your hard work ethic is going to take you everywhere. So just definitely watching. I don't watch just like one match, watch them all summer long, wherever they are. There's some tennis tournaments, as you know, like
You actually go and like see them once they
one
themselves known, right?
1000%. So
Yeah.
sectional tournaments and national tournaments, and yeah, we are always watching. And we're not watching like on court. We watch off court too.
Mhm.
How treat their parents? How do they treat their coaches? Like that's a big deal. So always character is everything. So, um, you know,
I said that because I keep telling my students, like the ones that are applying to colleges that want kind of in college, and I'm like, you gotta them to like that you're like this because you have to give them time to like put you in their schedule so that they can either see you, like actually make out there to actually see you, or like maybe they can see two or three players, at least get themselves on their radar, right? So
absolutely. Yeah, you got to out
um,
via email. Coaches are better than others, like responding to email, but contact an email, their office line, if they have a cell phone line, it just gets a little tricky. So, like, their rising year of high school is when they can start talking midsummer. Before that, they can watch you, but they can't see you. So,
right.
make yourself known. So many people like out there. So, what stands out? It's different. You have to recruiting phone calls, but here's players. Oh, like somebody reached out to me on direct message like through Instagram. I'm like, that will never be me. Like I like the old fashioned email or phone call. I'm able to do. I think you get to know like a person really well, and, talk to parents as well, because I feel like where with the services is definitely different. Joining them after they're at the academy, but nonetheless, it's not just the player that's experiencing their 4 years at the school.
Right.
So try to offer them and see what we have to offer. Academically, and then if it's not for them, it's not for everybody, but at least now more about this academy. So
That's awesome. When I thought that you were US Navy, I was like, that's really impressive. Because these girls, I'm sure like they're coming in like fit already, super fit.
They're coming fit for sure, but regardless if you join like a service, you don't really know what you don't know, until you we can't really, you're this new journey from like your civilian to military life, and there's up downs, there's tough times, just like anything else. But the really neat thing about the academies is that you're going through it with other people, and you're all like going through the same things at the same time, and so the people are what make the experience. And so if you have a really good cohesive unit in anything that you do, you're going to be successful. And so I can assure that all of our players, they all along. Like obviously you're gonna have tiffs here and there, that's normal, but they get along. Like on their time, they spend a lot of time together, they get around each other, and it is a family. And I mean, we too, like we're for their lives, from the process through the time at the academy, through their time in the fleet and beyond. We've got tons of weddings, we have so many like Navy tennis babies.
Awesome.
But it's a cool way for me to be like in the game, but also just like these relationships that you keep building forever. And obviously they're doing amazing things out in the Navy and the Marine Corps. So I just have a lot of respect for them and what they do, because it's definitely not an easy decision, especially like nowadays when you're like 16, 17, trying to decide what's for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. I would like they would be more bonded overall. Like everyone would be more bonded in that unit.
1000%. Yeah. It's awesome. It's unique. It's a really fun, like I love where I love like around cross vest or on the hat or wherever, and then you always meet somebody that went to Naval Academy, and hey, I'm class of like old timers, you know what I mean, and they're just like, oh, like it's so to see you guys out here, and you're representing the Naval 24, representing the program 24/7, so everything that you do, everything that you say matters. And they're just really representatives for us. Awesome. For sure. Yeah,
that was truly awesome. With that, what is coaching philosophy?
I am more, I myself like a player's coach, everybody in the same like basket, like our teams to be like aggressive minded, but that doesn't mean, you're going to flat ball all the time. That means maybe I'm going to roll the like, for the strike zone a couple of times. And then when I get a short ball, I'm coming in and putting pressure at you at net. But we to be aggressive, and we do different drills for that. They're not all the same, because everybody still plays different. And we got players that love to slice and come in. We have players that like to stay on the baseline a little bit longer and wait for their opportunities. We have some that all are around, even doubles, doubles in college. We have some that are like right on top of the net, which is unusual, I would say. But there's some that, all right, I got to push you forward. It's going to be okay, But yeah, I promise it's going to help. But yeah, we have this aggressive mindset, but we definitely don't treat everybody like the same in terms of like game styles, because it is different. But certainly we try to like things like slice, like some are more comfortable than others, but guess what? You need the slice to change it up, right? If everybody likes everything on their strike zone, how are you going to change it?
Right, absolutely. It's like if you're used to one shot, you'll figure out like how to build a person, right?
Exactly.
That in that slice, it's like, oh,
and just trying to make somebody uncomfortable, cause solid, like
what's tactical, I would say,
for sure. What's going over the edge? Definitely, it's the mental toughness sometimes too, and just staying in the moment. Ours has a lot of like ups and momentum shifts, like all the time. And so, what do you do to sustain it? And then tennis, we know at scoring, so super important. Errors that's come back from consistently. Yeah. So, but we do a lot of like we matches. They back the program that like cuts their match to an hour and a half match. You can watch it in 15 minutes, and it gives you specific like, oh, I watch all the deuce points, or I want to watch all the forehands, or unforced error. So it's specific, and they love to watch it, and just learn. A lot of them are definitely visual. So I'm not sure I would have reacted if I was at college. We didn't have but
it's like I don't want to see myself making all mistakes, but I think it's so important because I've incorporated a lot of video in my training.
Yeah.
And like the learning curve is like it's like actually. So it's I could take one of my students like to fix their serve or their swing, but I can tell them like 6 months. Once I show them like what needs to be done, it was the instant.
Yeah.
So it's like you save so much time with just showing them like here you are and here you like this is what it's supposed to look like. Right? So
For sure, for sure. I think with all the technology that we have nowadays, even players, even with the serve, hey, Coach Charlie, can you like just tape me? Sure, and then we'll just swing it, and we do reps and work with them. Especially in the fall, we do like once a week because I think in the fall it's a little bit simpler to work with them individually because you're just playing here and there, but you're in a weekend in matches, so it's really hard to. I don't want to say like change. I'm not your game, but like if you work on something specific and get it better, the fall
right.
is definitely the time to do so.
Well, yeah, more time. I mean, like
Yeah,
you can't like changes last minute. Like I never tell
no,
students to like change anything right before they walk onto the court. There's no this. I always tell them like
yeah,
just do your best, just do whatever you think is most comfortable or most like what you've been working on. Don't change a game because it's not going to work.
1000%. Then if before they compete, and they're success, then they lose confidence, and it's just so
Right.
hard to gain back. So yeah, it's definitely placed with everything, but yeah, it's sometimes, but it is definitely rewarding when they see like the other things. So
Mhm.
while they're long, they're short too. You don't have too much time to lament if things didn't go well. You got to bounce back on the next practice day and train and
Mhm.
there's no you can play a really good match and still not win the match, right? So,
That's true.
but
That's true.
that's too. You can do everything right, and sometimes things doesn't go your way. So I think a lot like for our, I think it teaches a lot of life lessons.
Mhm.
Yeah, super. I've gotten into the sport, that's for sure.
I was what do you think of oh yeah, what is your training schedule like with like
So they do strength and conditioning with their strength and conditioning coach twice a week with lifting, and then twice a week with conditioning. So time is tight at the academy. So basically, they have like a half hour window for these things. So they're like up and out. But I thought most kids now they come in with like a lifting they've already done. If they haven't, that's okay. Like the strength shows at ground level, but I do see a lot of difference. Even like near the beginning to the end, especially with someone that did not come in like lifting and how much stronger they are. Because I think college, you like 17 years old, so you can be playing somebody that's 23, 24 years old. So if I'm 17 and I'm playing a 24-year-old, that is one
big difference?
experience, and then the strength
Yeah.
is not it is juniors, right? So and you just to try to avoid like injury, and you do get hurt, like you can back quicker.
Right.
But yeah, so they
Right.
twice a week both, and yeah, they being out there. I just had lunch with we call them firsties, but our seniors, and they're out, because it's you. So, but yeah, I don't have like agility, footwork, shorts. You have to, they're constantly just quick movements, lateral. You got to be ready. So first step is huge. So our strength coaches focuses on tennis. I think he's done a really good job for us.
I've always told my students it's like every time you hit a ball. It's like most like they take the time. I know I feed a little bit slower for technique and everything, but I'm
Right,
like,
right.
you need like it's an for every single point. So,
Yeah. Yeah, photo huge. You know this. Take one step. I mean, that's the shot. Very difficult, very different. Quick steps, getting low, staying low, like these things, man. So every little
be
thing that
very
you
intentional with your footstep, like with your footwork.
absolutely, and just rep and rep,
Mhm.
and then obviously it comes like at some point natural. But yeah, if your is off,
It's like you'll never get the ball.
yeah, it's going to be difficult. So it definitely changes the dynamic of what you're trying to do within the point. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's super important.
I should have started with the, can you state your name and a little bit about yourself and how you started tennis and your tennis
Sure,
before the
sure.
coaching?
Yes, my name is Alessandra Pedernana. I started playing tennis when I was 7 years old. So I got into it because my dad loved to watch tennis, and we had a local park. So New York City, Cunningham Park was nearby, and my mom set me up for tennis lessons, and I loved it ever since. And started competing when I was 9, and just continued grinding, learns, work that's off, so I can like play these tournaments, and fortunate enough to be at a level that afforded me scholarship in Division 1 athletics. So and then from then on, got it right away, and I haven't blinked since. 20 plus years of coaching afterwards. So I've been in the game since since I was years old playing, and through high school. That's obviously how I know you. We were teammates.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, it was a great time. I mean, I just still talk to so many people on the team, and it was such a good like learning process, and it was such a cool thing to have like a instant family. You know, while you're in high school, figure out who you are. And our hallways, I mean,
Yeah.
our school was really cool. You know, every time you're walking down the hall, you could see a teammate, and then you knew what you were what doing right after going to practice or if you were going to match. And you
Yeah.
know, the bonds that I thought was super special. And like, yeah, obviously that we were successful, but I think we all turned out to be like really good people, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. Yeah.
I remember you like you said that you were half sponsored by Prince. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes, back in the day. Yes, yeah.
And then you said like, well, if you went pro, then they would sponsor you fully, but then you decided to do the whole school thing, which I'm really grateful for. Never met you if
Yeah.
you went that route, right?
Yeah, I think my life was, who knows, you know, I think this is great, but it's also a very small like margin, very small people that actually like truly make it. You know, I think the road that I took, you know, brought me where I am, and the people that I've met through this. So yeah, no all, but I just think like academics, you know, and but going about it through tennis, like that's what I'm like really interested in. You know, I hunt and like they made it, and some that haven't, you know, and it's you got to follow your dream. So whatever your passion is, like I'm here for, you know, I think give it your all in everything you do. But yeah, I'm super grateful and happy the route that my life is on. And yeah, I've met like I think one of those sports that it's a small world, to be honest with you, and then you just run into like everybody at some point. And
Everyone.
like yeah, and you never know where you're going to run into them as well, and it just brings people together like instantaneously. So it's
I know you were trying to beat one of the pros high school records. I think it was Mary Pierce's. Did you end up doing it? Do you remember?
I do not. I
I
don't.
know you were hyper focused on like every single match. You were trying to beat someone's like record. And I was trying to figure out like who like trying to remember who like spoke like what you mentioned. I was thinking like maybe Mary Pierce. I'm like, I don't know why that name like popped up
No,
because
I have no clue.
oh, okay, never mind.
You're fine. You're fine. I have no idea. Like, I mean,
Okay.
like, they're able to be successful, but I feel like
Uh-huh.
it's
Did
like
you lose any matches? I don't, right?
no,
Okay.
but you know, I don't know. Sometimes it's luck. I feel like, but I had like
I
I
think if I remembered correctly, then like you, if you did any matches in high school, then you probably beat that person's record because I think she only lost like one match whole entire high school career. So kudos to you.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I acted like St. Francis Prep. I was blessed to be like part of their Hall of Fame. You know, that was kind of surreal. Like I don't know. They showed like the montage of like pictures and things we all did as a team, and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, that's in there, but it's not me. You know what I'm saying? It took everybody because like you have to have support, you have to have backing, and like the people that run your team like make you better. Well, you know, so surreal. I think things that were accomplished in my tennis career. If you would have told me like you know college too, like I would have been like, that's wild. Like I said, I've just been lucky in the journey with the people, and I think like me, I was always like super serious, like off court. You know, I'm like the biggest, and I still am. Like I'm the biggest like goofball, like off. You know, like it's like time and place, but I don't try to take things like too seriously. Too short, you know, you gotta the people that are around you, and yeah, grind when it's time to work. That's just what it is.
I
But
totally remember that because you're like super silly, and then I
yeah,
think you listen to like Bare Naked Ladies. Like,
yeah, back in the
I listen to this, I'm like, I'm about to score. But then
yeah,
like, if you were like someone, or you were just about to go on court, you were like hyper focused, which is
for
really
sure.
cool to
For
watch.
sure. Yeah, that's just how it was. Like it's actually I have a funny story. So in college, so the coach that I work for, my alma mater, and like at Navy is the same coach that coached me in college. So I've known him forever. So he's like my second dad. And the first match that I had collegiately, so I remember like I had shades on, and he told me match that he was like very scared to like talk to me. I was like so serious, and I was like, that is wild. Like I'm the biggest.
I was like that too at one
Yeah,
point.
I'm like, oh no, that's. I was like, oh no, I'm just me. But like, you know, it's nothing personal. It's just who I am, you know. On the and he like realized, okay, yeah. But I thought this was so funny because you know, here's
Yeah,
this.
you were super
Yeah,
nervous. But then like once you landed onto like a match or something, like, oh, I should disturb her.
yeah. So
Like
I
deep
just
in thought.
yeah, this guy, you know, Keith coaching at the time. I don't know, like 18, 20, 25 collegiate coaching, and then I was like, here he's telling me he's like scared to come to like my court. I'm like.
That
I was like, come on, let's go. I need your advice. You know what I mean? So
I
it
was like, no, you got this.
it was pretty
I'm good. I'm good up here, but by the windows.
No, if you're me, like I'm always like in a sense, I always appreciate it, but it was just a funny, like
That's
funny
hilarious
story.
because I relate because I remember being like a little like I remember I was a junior and you're a freshman and I'm like
Yeah.
disturb her.
Oh my gosh. No disturbing. It's all.
Had your headphones on.
Yes.
You're doing like homework or something. Like, okay, she's doing like watching a match, just like really silent. And like,
yeah.
hey, I'm gonna go over here.
Taking it all in. I'm taking it all in, taking mental notes. Yeah, it was just
I can totally relate. Like I was part of that club.
that's so funny. I'll have to tell him tomorrow. He'll love this.
Did you singles all for 4 years?
Yeah, so I started at the 4 spot for singles and 2 doubles.
Mhm.
And then I moved to 2 singles my sophomore year.
Okay.
And then still 2 sophomore year. And then junior and senior year, I played 1 singles. And then I've 1 doubles my junior and senior year as well. So kind of like progressed. It was, I mean, there's, though, when you're a little bit lower in the lineup, not that it's not good matches, it is for sure, but making the 4 to 2 is significant. And then everybody, when you won, everybody's good, right? So there's no like, I mean, you can't, but there's no an easy match anyways. You got to be able to grind. And at the end of the day, like that's why like played, you look at like rankings, you can't do anything, because if based on half things wouldn't be played out, right, if we looked at it just on pen and paper. But you got to show up and be, yeah, it was a real experience to be able to like I guess senior year, like lead from the front. I think my junior year, senior year, like I definitely like down as lost like 10 pounds. I got fitter.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, I think this is necessary in the sense that I was not that I wasn't fit, but there were like 3 set matches. I just wasn't happy with my ultimate performance. And I thought, if I even more took this even more serious, I think these setters, some of them would go more my way a little bit more. And honestly, like my senior year, they did. I had 3 setters. I think I had out of the matches I played, I think I had like 9 or 11 of them, not even sure. And I won the majority of them. And I think that's just based on, just putting the work in, and because I wasn't satisfied. So I was like, I don't sure that my playing career, I didn't be like, okay, I have regrets or I should have done this. I could have done this, it's like now and let's go. And obviously I owe to myself, but team too, to just from the, so yeah, I was happy with how that turned out, how my playing definitely turned out well. No regrets for sure.
That sounds amazing. Like, what did you do for that shifted that 10 pounds? Like,
I just like to be honest with you, because I think it's easy to go to the dining hall and just like we would. That's where like a lot of our team. We were a men's team because our head coach coached both, and that's where you eat and just like sit around and now an hour and a half has passed by, 2 hours, and then you're like eating again. This is not good, or like late night snacking. So that was one of the major things in my opinion. I was like, I gotta. That's a terrible habit, like drinks or eat like a better like bar or something, but nothing like super heavy. I always had these like rings, like we call it like late night. It's the dining hall. You can get meatball sup. That's super heavy. It's not good for you, but at the time, so this is great. And,
sounds great now.
Right, exactly. You pay the price later, So, so I'd be like really like self about being honest with you, and well, it's easy to take that extra step and go get that. Like nope, and so a lot of like cleaner eating, and obviously like it's like what you put into your system, to help it run. And so I know the difference like pretty soon after, and I mean, yeah, they say time, but you do feel better, and it was night and day. And like, there's nothing better than like you're good set and you feel comfortable because that you're ready to roll. Nothing's like that. If you're gonna match, you don't want to lose it because you're not fit. That's like unacceptable. So the gift, and just again, you got to be mentally resilient. Like that's how. If you really want something bad enough, you got to put in that.
That is it. Do you like time like net still, or
no? So what's crazy? I actually haven't like. I've hit in a couple of times in the last like year, but because I have like a couple of disc bulge, like my to the point that I was like limping like off my left leg pretty bad. I haven't played like true because I just can't. So I've been doing a lot of like PT work for it and going to the chiropractor, quite honestly. I started the chiropractor like 2 months ago. Definitely have noticed a difference. So now like, cause like you're on your feet a lot, you're on this as well. Like you're standing up, walking around. Last year was like, it was double header matches. My left leg was just bother me. And I told myself, no way that I can live my life like this, but I didn't want to do any like injections or anything like that because sometimes honestly they don't work. So, but I didn't want to do that right away. I was like, let me do PT, let me grind here. And then through the way chiropractor or chiropractic, excuse me, it's definitely night and day, I will say. So it's just kind of like same to maintain and my routines, if I don't want to go backwards, I gotta stay
Right,
here.
right.
So, now obviously I have a point where like I can do a lot of things at home and it's nice. But yeah, in terms of working out, like the only things I do are like I would just a lot because right now I just can't like
Yeah.
put pressure on it. But yeah, 1 year ago to now, I'm back to living my best.
I'm glad. That sounds like really painful.
They say like if you don't have health, like I mean nothing really
You don't have
remains.
anything else.
No,
Yeah.
so
Like
you got it seriously, and again, I'm not younger, so that's why I said I was like, oh, I'm starting to, but do the upkeep as well because it comes with age, but also like you can also
reverse it.
on the front
Yeah.
side.
I totally think like conditions can be, and if you
Yeah,
give it time and then you give that persistency, I think you can, and consistently, like
absolutely,
it
yeah,
might be like more than you expect, right? So it's not overnight, but maybe give it like a couple years and you'll probably be back playing, and
no,
beating it.
I would. I like, I obviously I'm grateful that I do the sport and still like be on court. I mean, obviously like feeding them, but I'm like, oh, I wish I could get out there and hit, but I lived through them, So,
Right. Now,
yeah, the definitely like since last year been night and day. So I'm like you said, another 6 months or a year, like I feel like I can be nothing too crazy probably, but at least like being able to like reps. Um, Still very much in my I enjoy. Sometimes I have to decompress. I'm not gonna lie. Like I can't. My dad over sometimes, and he'll like watch tennis right away. He's like, "Why are you not watching?" And I'm like, I'm tired. Like I don't want to watch. I gotta like decompress. Like I like all time. So there's like for me, there's a time that I just have to watch
yeah.
I'm not trash TV, but like
Yeah, chat. Yeah, definitely. Like I have trash where like I need just to, like watch something really so I don't
yeah,
have to like process anything. Just put it on. I'll just
absolutely,
leave it
exactly.
on. I'll just stare at the TV an hour or two, or maybe the
Yeah.
rest of the night.
It doesn't mean that I'm not like paying attention, to
Yeah,
like their own results. Like I'm all into that. I
yeah.
don't want to like
But you're on
I
here all day. I mean,
yeah,
like you don't see another play. I don't want to see another tennis ball. I want to see another racket. I just don't know. Please, just
yeah. You need time to do other things too. You know what I mean? So
right.
I totally get it.
Well, what is I mean, I know like you like this aspect of sport and the intensity. Like, what would you say like, is your like part of tennis that's actually kept you going all these years?
I think
Aside from yeah,
yeah,
aside
yeah. I think it's like seeing players develop. To be honest with you, because I always think like when I see they're at, I'm like, that was me a long time ago, but that was me at one point, right? And so like they're so happy to be out there, or obviously sometimes when life happens and just working with them through those moments, like yes, like court results, off court, like relationships, or or like again, like sometimes like this is the time they've dealt with a death in their family, and so being there with them and supporting them in any aspect, I think is huge. And then through like life's challenges, like sport helps a lot to just go get back out there. And I think it's a huge like de-stressor. Sometimes it's for people, I totally get that with our sport, but when life, you usually go to what you've known for almost your entire life, and that's going on the tennis court, and using it to get through and just getting back on the. But I just it's like seeing them develop as people, but as like tennis players, and helping them like they're like collegiate, like and also personal. So I just think it's to me it's like helping others and helping them through sport is what like me going. Like I always it's true like all of them they come in say the same age. I get older, but they're still in the same age range every single year,
that's
right?
true. That
Um,
is true.
but with every even if you have the same all returning crew, like every year that's going to be different regardless. Nothing is the same, and so it keeps you like we're going to have freshmen coming in this fall, and it's a new as well and new opportunities, so, new challenges. But it makes it fun, and it gives you a different perspective because it's now you're like impacting like people's. Not just think I've been the best, because you're great. It's not like you develop people. So I think that's really what's got me going. Like having relationships after. That's what it's about, to be honest with you. And if they had a great experience while they were at the academy through the tennis team, then I've done my job in my personal opinion. So
Amazing.
yeah.
You're like the ultimate role model.
I try. I mean, you know, I aspect what the coaching phone is like a player's coach. You know, they know they come like to me for the phone's always on. We have like open door policies. They need to come in and just like talk about anything. And we're just very much involved, but I'm not trying to pry on their life, but they like will talk. And I just feel like, yes, I'm a coach, but also I can take on like a big sister if they need it, you know, sometimes like a role. It just depends on like what's going on in their lives, to be honest. So like I said, like I've been blessed with great coaches, you know, before my entire coaching like career. So I think I've met a few of those coaches that I've had, and again the people I was surrounded with, and so it all comes together, and so that's my way to give back to the sport. So yeah, it's to be honest.
Who did you have as a coach? Did you have Kerna?
I did.
Like thinking of kind of like who's that?
Kerner was
It was intense.
like I remember we had like Sam before school, and okay, like after school, high school when we didn't, you know, or whatever. It's like, hey, you got to be there, and I mean, it's good. That, like, it pays off in the end, you know, right? Like, not to be honest, I'm one of those people though too. Like, if they when they off, like I can get out of bed right away. I don't have to like hit snooze. Like team, I try, but I don't sleep well.
Oh my God.
In general, it's crazy. But I've been like that my entire life, so you know the grind. But it's just like anything that you do, like conditioning in college, I like dreaded it. I was like, oh no, you know, because I asked this, and that's okay. Like I tried my hardest.
Yeah.
You know, once it's done, you feel so good because you're like, I just did. And then that's how we would start. We had 7 a.m. like conditioning practices, sessions, and like yeah, I did that, you know. And so your day like on the right. And yeah, I felt like just made the day better, to be honest with you, because you got like exercise already. Like,
yeah, it's already you already did it. You accomplished something, and then like the rest of the day is like, well, it's done to a degree.
For sure. And you know, like as like it's all about routines, and you know what I mean. We all have our schedules. I think tennis players are like really good about that because it's such a
so structured.
It right? is, and it's a type of sport. Yes, in college and high school, it's team oriented, but you know, like you have these things on your own, you know, and take what do you want, you know. So if you're like, I'm a big like who does like sheets, you know, I short term, immediate goals, like, you know, and daily, and what are you doing to like get after it, you know? So I'm not like, yeah, that's good. I'm results oriented, but like, there's also like process of it, like how.
Sure, yeah.
So for everybody, you know, that's how it's. I don't know. I like to visually see things as well, so it helps me a
lot. What do you mentioned that you weren't like fast or something? Like I know you like huge like so it's like your strength and like weaknesses.
I definitely was not the fastest. I was one of the slowest, if not the slowest for sure. I think I anticipated really well, and I think like the strength for me was that I could see like the court really what I wanted to do with my game. It's not just like hitting balls. Like I read like a vision of like, what patterns, you know, cross court time, whatever it is, right? And then I know that I'm looking for my forehand, a short forehand, you know, go open when I'm trying to come in into volley. Like I had a plan, or like serving, like being at, I knew where I wanted to serve each time and how I wanted this point to potentially look like, right? So I think that was my strength. I would say weakness, definitely, yeah, like not being, I anticipated well, so I covered that. But I would say, you know, sometimes I'm really hard. I'm just like, like the Spanish like fire.
I remember that. I kind of remember like a little bit of like after. Yeah. I'm like, it's so good.
I know. I would say that, you know, because I used to like internalize it like a lot. You know, it's like not life or death, but like that's how I did for like at least like minutes. Like I would say, I didn't really want to like talk to me. So that's probably, I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but it just is what it was at the time.
I think that's how you do everything.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And I didn't have a backhand. I sliced so much. Backhand was definitely the weak side. So that's a massive
mental note if I ever play you.
yeah, that, oh my goodness. But you know, the slice, I was able to like get the ball going again, get a short ball and look for my forehand. So there was, you know, strengths that I really hard on to sort of my weakness, or like not make it as rampant, you know. So
every players like that, they have like their weaknesses and their like pros and cons, and like they just do the best they can with their weaknesses, but like they emphasize their right. So
yeah,
just to hide from the opponent so that like the opponent see it's like not to you as to them.
Absolutely. Right? I feel like, you know, Keith and I learned a lot from him, but I feel like one of the things is like when you have like a to speak, you have to have like two strengths to make it right. So like, for me personally, it was my serve and my forehand. So you know, okay, to my backhand side, yes, obviously I'll more than likely will slice, but maybe I'll run around and hit an inside out forehand. Like you have to be able to coordinate it, make it,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So But working in like volleys, I just do like I would get I trained up at some point too, and I would just get like balls like just like with the cart and just like flail like, and you have to run away or just keep your racket up. And that's honestly how I learned how to volley. And
That's so funny. Just to guard yourself.
yeah. And I was like, well, like you can take back, but guess what? You're gonna get hit. You know,
Yeah.
just simple is better,
Mhm.
and you won't get hit in the face, so or the stomach or whatever. But that's how I let a volley, and I'm like super grateful because like a big for me is a big like area in my game as well, and you know, it's so many like really solid players that still like even at the collegiate level, even like I mean some that are comfortable at net at all. You know, you try to and then that everything changes, but a lot of players are like good side to side, right? Mm-hmm. So the up and back is the area that always needs to work or be worked on a little bit more. But yeah, it's just finding what you're and trying to make them uncomfortable.